That's a good question. I was never an art maker when I was young. I was not creative in that way, and I loved art but never made anything. And then in the year 2000, I was traveling in Vancouver in Canada, and I went into a gallery and loved the work. And I asked the gallery owner about the art, and she was also the artist. And we spent a few hours together, and I really liked everything she had to say and the work she did. And so I ended up buying a few small pieces, and I went back home. And about 2 weeks later, she mailed me a postcard. It was a handmade postcard, and it was just a beautiful piece of art, and I was so touched. And I mailed her back a postcard, and then a few weeks later, she mailed me a little painting on a little piece of paper. And I thought, no, now I have to send her a little painting. So I mailed her a painting, and then she sent me a little book, and we just mailed things back and forth to each other. And in that way, I learned all about art. It was my education, and it totally changed my life and brought me into art. Well, for me, I create with a lot of freedom and abandon. It's not about planning anything. I never know what I'm gonna make when I start. For me, it's all about layers and texture and just developing a history within the piece. So it's not overthinking. It's just putting your paint down and then doing your next layer and letting each layer tell you where to go next. So there's no form, there's no format, there's no plan. It's just representing just being free with the materials. And also I do let the materials guide me. So if I put on a dark color, I'll probably layer next with a light color. So there's just a lot, again, that idea of freedom. I chose Aladine products, I think, for three reasons. The first one is the quality of the products. They're all developed in such a way that they're really good products. And my experience with Aladine in the past is that just everything is well made. It's very consistent. It's very pigmented, and there's quite a lot of variety. So that interested me. The second thing was the culture of the company. It just was a good match for me. It's a company who's creating products that make people happy, that, you know, it's more about the art necessarily than it is about the commerce. And I think I said there was a third reason. I work with a lot of companies, and I've developed a lot of different products, but I've always wanted to develop a range of mediums. You know, most of the things I make are stamps or stencils, and I love the fact that I had an opportunity to create in the color line. That's something I've always wanted to do, and so the opportunity was there as well. Sure. Well, there's going to be 3 releases in January. Just really quickly, the first one is the dye sprays, and that's something I'm very excited about because almost all the dye sprays I've used in the past have clogged, so that when you try to spray it, they won't come out. And these don't clog, and that to me is exciting. They're non-permanent, so they're water soluble. And then the pigment inks are permanent, so they dry and they stay. So I love the fact that the range covers everything. And then the new pigment inks will have a new packaging and a new way to be used, which I love. And they're very rich, they're very thick, they're very opaque, they're matte, They're just delicious. Both of these products, I think there's a way to use them a little bit differently than traditionally. In terms of the Eyes Ink Ice, I think I'm very, very excited about that because it's completely different to anything that's been out there. And the Eyes Ink Ice, I think, will give people a chance to get something new. And new in the craft world doesn't happen often. Most companies repeat. The qualities of the ice make it different, and it makes it very unique. For me, I would probably use it mostly on paper, just because I use paper. But I am also excited to use it on metal and on wood, because I work on both of those. And I think that the product looks a little bit different on the different supports. I'm looking forward to experimenting. It would be beautiful on glass or on plexi or vellum, but I'm first a paper person. Okay. Yeah. I'm just so excited to work with Aladine and to introduce these to the world, and also to show people how you can apply them to mixed media, again, in maybe unique and different ways. And then just to see where we go and how it grows. And I'm excited for what will come next, and what we'll be doing the next year, and to build on these bases. And I have a lot of ideas. Merci beaucoup.